Sadhguru, Karna and Parikshit died because of curses they had on them. Who was to curse? Is there any specific qualification one has to make it effective? Who has to curse? And are they more powerful than Karna or Parikshit?
First tell me, who is your victim?
I just want to know what the relevance of curse in today's context.
No, whom are you planning?
No, I just wanted to ask you whether any…
No, that is fine, I got the question. But whom are you planning, I said?
No specific thing. One have qualification to curse somebody, like the Brahmana who cursed Karna or this disciple who cursed Parikshit, no? Are they more powerful than those?
The question is, what is the qualification to be able to curse somebody? So I'm sure quite a few are interested in that question. So, the curse, Gandhari's curse, the Brahmana who curses Karna, Parshurama who curses a few people. How do these things work? Is there really such thing or is it just a psychological factor? There is an element of psychological factor, but it will work. Life is energy. This is a fact established beyond doubt. Life is energy. Body is energy. Mind is energy. The life within is energy. If you are just a physical person, that's why they say, if a Shudra curses, nothing will happen. If a Vaishya curses, you will miss a meal. If a Vaishya curses, you will miss a meal. If your Kshatriya curses, you may lose your limb or life. If a Brahmana curses, you may lose everything. Why this is said is, I want you to understand this terminology of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, not the way it is understood today, but in terms of qualification. Let us understand this as qualification, not sects of people who are born in certain families. So a Shudra means somebody who does menial jobs, all he knows is his body. A Vaishya is somebody who is using his body and his mind to some extent. He is largely free of emotion except for his own family. His emotional role is very small area, highly emotional but very small area, but still his calculation in the head and his body rules the nature of who he is. A Kshatriya is passionate to a point where his life energies get involved. He's more in his heart, otherwise he cannot rule. Otherwise, he cannot lay down his life for what he believes in. A Vaishya would never sacrifice his life. He will make a deal, he will negotiate. A Kshatriya is honor-bound. He will not negotiate, he would rather die. For him, a compromise is death. He will rather die than compromise. But a Vaishya is not like that, he will make any kind of deal. A Brahmana is flexible in a different way, but rigid in some other way. So he is somebody who is supposed to have touched the Brahman in him, supposed to have touched the nature of the ultimate within himself. If this one curses, for sure, it will happen. So Karna received curses from two Brahmanas, one a very powerful one, another one an ordinary one, but both of them stuck. Both of them stuck on him. The second one only cursed the chariot wheel should be stuck. Even if the chariot wheel was stuck, if he remembered the mantras, he could have still killed Arjuna. But the bigger curse is Parashurama's curse, that he will forget his astras at the right moment. That is the real giveaway. Chariot wheel stuck, he could have jumped down and still fought. But the problem is, he's forgotten the mantra. He's trying to find time to remember. Working on the chariot wheel, he's thinking he can remember. The more he thinks, the more confused he got. That's sure death. So when you curse somebody or when you bless somebody, both ways you are giving away something that you have earned. You need to understand this. To curse and to bless, for both you have to expend some of the energy that you have built up, which is positive for your life. A curse will cost that much depending upon how far-reaching a curse it is. A blessing will cost much more depending upon how far-reaching the blessing is. This is the reason in India, the blessing, if you go anywhere to any saint, he will look at you first, look away, Jai Ho. Have you seen this? If you go to the northern India, the blessing is always Jai Ho. Very rarely they look at you and say, Vijayi Bhava, because that's going to cost much more. Jai Ho is for your inner victory, which is a real victory. For this, he is blessing generally. This is if he is a sage or a saint. People who are wearing the uniform but who are actually beggars or businessmen, that's a different game. They can do anything. You got nothing to give, so what's there? You can open up your treasury. If there's nothing in your treasury, you can open it up all the time. And you say you're very open because you got nothing. When you have something valuable, that's when it matters, isn't it? So the blessing always is towards spiritual well-being. If you have to bless somebody because of certain situations towards the material well-being, it costs much more because it needs to manifest in the physical world. If it needs to manifest in the inner world, the blessing, let us say, to make you understand, let's say it costs 1 unit of energy, 1 unit of electricity to bless you towards your inner well-being. If I have to bless you to pass an examination for which you have not studied, then it would cost 100 units of energy. So if you come to me for a blessing for an examination, I will bless you to pass the final exam, not the 10th exam. I don't care whether you pass the 10th exam or not. Even I didn't care when I sat for it. So don't come to me for such things. I can bless you. You need to understand this. If your inner nature is blessed, the outer will manifest out of that blessing. Instead of seeking a blessing for the outer world, it's best to live with grace. If you live with grace, your own energies will blossom and you can manifest your physical or material life effectively. But if I have to make things happen, you are blundering idiot, but you want things to happen, then it costs enormous amount of energy. This is what you see when Krishna tries to manifest life for a little infant. He is able to do so many things, but to give life to this little infant, he is almost tottering on his feet because it cost him 1,000,000 units of energy to bring this child back to life. But he could manipulate 1,000,000 people to do what he wanted them to do. That did not cost him, he went about joyfully smiling. But to bring this little life back to life, it cost him so much. So both blessing and curse will cost. A curse will cost you even more, because if I bless you towards what you want, apart from my blessing, you will also work towards it. So maybe it won't cost so much. It is not only at the time of blessing, you will continue to cost. Suppose I bless you to succeed in some mission that you have taken up right now, and I want to ensure that you succeed. If you are intelligent, if you are skillful, if you are dedicated towards that mission, now it'll cost me less. You are an idiot who only received the blessing, and tomorrow morning you go home and you've forgotten for what you received the blessing and you start doing your own idiotic things, then it will drain on a daily basis, because you have given somebody the contact and that idiot, how he makes use of it. I'm going on saying that idiot, this stupid, because I don't want to use worse vocabulary than that. Because people do this, not knowing what they're taking. But with blessing, there is a hope that you will work for it. But if I curse you, you will work against it. So this is going to cost tenfold more than a blessing, because you are trying to work against it, my energies are trying to work for it. So now Karna is cursed that he should forget his mantras. I am sure to ensure that he does not forget the mantras, every day he is chanting the mantras 1,000 times to ensure that he will not forget when he needs it. Now, this is going to cost Parashurama enormously, because the man is determined to see the curse doesn't work. But this man is determined to see the curse works. So the curse, depending upon the determination and skill of the person who is cursed, may cost phenomenally more than a blessing. Once again, a blessing, how much it costs simply depends on the intelligence, the skill and dedication of that person. If he's really focused and on, your blessing is just a gentle nudge when he cannot cross some hurdles, then it is easy. But if the fool doesn't do anything and he expects it to happen, then it costs phenomenally for the one who blesses, because he cannot withdraw it. Repeatedly it's being said, I cannot withdraw it. Maybe I can change it a bit, but I cannot withdraw it because you have opened up a certain field. You cannot close it suddenly, whether it's a blessing or a curse. Yes. How do I qualify myself to curse people? You did not ask, how do I qualify myself to bless people? Unfortunate, isn't it? You asked, how do I qualify myself to curse people? This is my curse. May you never be qualified for cursing anybody. Don't work against my curse. Work for it. Work for my curse, all of you. Yes? Yes. Work for my curse, don't work against my curse. It'll cost me.